All I want to know is, what's the guy's name on first base? No, what's the guy's name on second base? Not asking. One Man's Opinion, what can you tell us about the movie Rain Man? Yeah. Rain Man is a movie made in 1988. Definitely starring Tom Cruise as Charlie Babbitt. Tom Cruise definitely played Charlie Babbitt. Also starring Dustin Hoffman. He played Raymond Babbitt, and also starring Valeria Golino, who played Susanna. Yeah, definitely played Susanna. Definitely.
And what score did Rain Man receive on IMDb? And Rotten Tomatoes?
Received an 89%. Definitely an 89% from Rotten Tomatoes. Definitely an 89%. 8 out of 10. Okay, definitely got an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Definitely.
How long is the movie Rain Man?
The movie is 2 hours 13 minutes. 2 hours 13 minutes. So
how many minutes is that?
133 minutes.
And how many seconds?
7,980 seconds. Definitely 7,980 seconds.
Wow. Man's a genius. What's up, everybody, and welcome to One Man's Opinion. And today we're talking about Rain Man. Rain Man is a movie that came out in 1988 and stars Tom Cruise, Dustin Hoffman, and Valeria Golino. Most of the time, I like to start off with the negatives of a movie when I'm doing these movie reviews. The problem is I don't have just a whole lot of negatives to say about Rain Man. Rain Man is one of those special movies that just everything that it is trying to do, it does, and it does very successfully. And of course, all the acting in the movie is phenomenal. And so it's hard to knock it for very much. I think the one thing that I could say in the negative category is that Rain Man at times feels a little long. I think it does take a little bit to get the wheels turning, kind of get traction at the beginning of the movie. So if it was like your first time sitting down to watch Rain Man, you have to kind of wait. You go through this process at the beginning to kind of learning who Tom Cruise is and learning about his character and his problems with his father and that sort of thing. And then it's a while before you actually meet Raymond. And then after you meet Raymond, you just it's easy to hate Tom Cruise early in this movie. So that, if you're not a patient moviegoer, may not be the film for you because it kind of does take a little bit to get going. However, if you stick around in this movie and you hang on for the ride, it is an amazing movie. The payoff for this film is incredible. This movie really is a journey, and it goes from the beginning where Tom Cruise is this really unlikable guy, and then it moves forward as time goes by, and as the movie goes, he grows as a character. And so while the movie does feel long at times, the payoff at the end is well worth it. Of course, Dustin Hoffman's performance in this movie is legendary. It's so good. It's so good. You really feel for this character. I don't know, he plays him so well, and to see other things that Dustin Hoffman has done throughout his career as an actor, it really does show you what kind of range he has. I mean, if you just see him play like Captain Hook, he doesn't even look like the same guy. And so it's really cool to see him in this role. I think at the core of this movie, I think what's so special about it is how touching it is. This really is I don't even want to call it a sad movie because it's not even really a sad movie. Though there are times that are frustrating or hard to watch or aggravating. When you watch Tom Cruise and he's so mean to his brother toward the beginning of the film, it really can be difficult to watch sometimes. But man, what a journey that all the characters go on. They all grow, and Tom Cruise really grows and becomes such a better person for having met his brother. It's really an incredible story. Also, unexpectedly, very funny. A very funny movie. A movie that you can't help but laugh at. Sometimes it's just the awkwardness that Raymond causes because of the way that he is. And you just can't help but laugh at the situation that they find themselves in. A lot of it's so realistic to how that sort of scenario could play out in real life. And you just can't help but laugh at it. But also kind of tug at your heartstrings a little bit because you know he can't really help it. So a lot of very good emotional range from times where you just can't help but bust a gut laughing so hard. Incredible quotes, a lot of really good things going on, and then also having moments where you just want to your heart just goes out to this guy, to Raymond, and you just want to shake Tom Cruise at times, and then by the end of it, you're so happy to see where he's ended up by the end of the journey and who he's become. Also, I think one of the most underrated things about this movie is the ending. I don't know how often it is that you watch a movie like this that doesn't have a happy ending. And I won't say that the ending of this movie isn't happy. It's just not the typical kind of happy that we're used to getting from movies. So, like, I think typically in this movie, we would all expect Tom Cruise to get custody of his brother, but he doesn't. His brother ends up going back. I applaud the movie for taking that chance. It doesn't diminish at all from the journey that went on. You could easily look at it and say, well, then, everything they went through didn't mean anything because Tom Cruise didn't end up with custody and, it didn't play out the way, it's not really a happy ending, but it is a happy ending. He has that relationship with his brother now that he didn't even know his brother existed. Now he has a real relationship with his brother and he can go visit him now, and Tom Cruise has grown so much for the experience. To be honest, it's probably better for both of them in the long run of things. Tom Cruise Charlie. Charlie has his own problems. He's got his own adulthood with bills to pay, and his business has failed by the end of it. He has to kind of pick up and start from scratch. Not having necessarily the finances to take care of Raymond. He really needs to be focused on that portion of his life right now, building his relationship with Susanna and all those other things. Maybe he still gets custody down the road. It doesn't mean that it's over for Charlie. It just means that Charlie is really taking his first steps into becoming a better person and to fixing his life that was kind of a mess when the movie first starts. And so I think there's a lot of positivity toward the end of it. The only real downside is that Charlie and Raymond aren't together at the very end, but that's okay because they can be together. Charlie's in a better place. Raymond's got his relationship with his brother. Susanna and Charlie's relationship is better. So everything has a net increase. Everything looks better. Everything feels more positive and upbeat by the end of it. And who's to say that one day Charlie and Raymond don't end up together anyway? And so I applaud them for not just giving that easy win that everyone might have wanted at the end of the film. It would have been easy to say, oh, he's clearly changed, and have and I hate to say this because I love Adam Sandler, but it would be such an Adam Sandler ending to the film if it was just like, no, he's made such a change. He gets it all, he gets the money, he gets his brother. Oh, God, it's great. It's crazy. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of ending to a film, but it is very typical and expected. So if you're watching this movie for the first time and you get to the end there and it's not maybe exactly what you expected, but you still get a happy ending, it's kind of a win-win because it's a little bit of a subversion of expectations, but also everyone's story has reached completion in an appropriate way. And I think that's really great. I think that's an awesome thing. Honestly, we could talk all day about the quotes from this movie. Just looking at Raymond Babbitt on screen, watching Dustin Hoffman work in this movie is a genuine pleasure. It is genuinely so much fun. Rewatching the movie, if you've already seen it, rewatching the movie, you will realize, I think for that reason, the beginning seems even slower. Because once Dustin Hoffman gets on screen, he steals the show. And don't get me wrong, Tom Cruise does a great job. His range in this movie, going from such a despicable little turd into a decent guy, a man who's still growing and becoming a better man, and watching Tom Cruise go from from the bottom all the way to the top, that range where you can't stand him and then you like him by the end of the movie and you're hopeful for him. It's really impressive. Tom Cruise actually acts the crap out of this movie, but Dustin Hoffman does such a good job. I hate to say it overshadows everyone else in the film, but literally the movie starts when Dustin Hoffman gets in front of the camera. When he first steps in front of the camera, every time he's on camera after that, you're on the edge of your seat. You just can't wait to see what happens next. You can't wait to see what he says next. You can't wait to just watch him. And he does, it's incredible. It's so good. Having said all that, I can't give this movie enough praise. Like I said, I think the only downside you could really give this movie is its runtime, which isn't that long. I think just at times it feels a little long. There's a few scenes. Everything in this movie has a purpose for the most part, so you couldn't even cut that many scenes out of this film, I don't think. But maybe a few of them could have got trimmed down. Maybe a few of them got the point across and it kind of lingered a little long. And then at the beginning, when we're just kind of getting to know Tom Cruise, I think that drags just a little bit. Maybe not as bad for someone viewing the movie for the first time, but certainly on the second and third view, you're ready to get to Dustin Hoffman. You're ready to see the Rain Man. And so, but what a great story. What a great movie. Honestly, if you haven't seen Rain Man, you need to go watch Rain Man. It's on Netflix right now, so if you have Netflix, you can easily go watch that movie. It's really, really a great film, and has basically everything you could want in a good movie, from laughs to tugging on the heartstrings, a good story to tell, a good ending, all around great acting. You can't take anything away from this film. And that's why I'm giving Rain Man a 96 out of 100. Okay, have you seen Rain Man? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Is there something that I should have mentioned in this review? It was kind of a quicker one, but I haven't done a movie review in a while, so it was kind of good just to get my feet wet, just to get back into it and do a little movie review. I've got another one coming at you soon, Wonder Woman 1988, 1984, I can't remember what year it was. The Wonder Woman 1980-something movie. That one. I'm going to be doing a review on it soon. Of course, I've still got more coming at you as far as the Marvel DC tournament goes. We're going to get that wrapped up eventually somewhere down the line. So plenty of stuff coming at you soon. But let me know what you thought about Rain Man. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go give it a watch. Come back and watch this review. Did you think my review was bad? If you did, don't get mad. Remember, it's just one man's opinion. Thanks.